Alright folks, I'm back. You. I don't know what the hell's going on. By the way, when I get on the bike, you notice I do it from the right side. Put my left hand here, I lean way over, and I lift my leg up, and I swing it, and I'm on. See how much easier that is? So folks, Mike Cayley 7 here, riding home from the Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson dealership. Just making sure everything is proper. It's been a while since I've been on the bike. So when last you saw me, I had to pull over on the highway 200 miles from home because that red oil light came on. And when I pushed the info button, it didn't say okay, it said nothing. It was just two dashes. So I called, the part that you didn't see in the video is I had to find the telephone number for the Harley Owners Group, because I used to be a member and I let it lapse like an idiot. So I found the number, and that took a while. I called them up, and I, what do you call it, reinstated, re-upped, whatever. I renewed my subscription, and so I was okay. And so then after I hung up with them, I got back on the phone with them, a different number, and I called for roadside assistance. It took them a couple of seconds to find me because I had just renewed, but hey, you know what, I was renewed. So they said, okay, we're going to have somebody come. Well, this guy ended up coming, and he said he was going to give me oil out of the goodness of his heart. He's going to drive over and see if he can just give me oil, because they knew what the problem was. And so he showed up, and he checked the oil like I did. When I first stopped, I checked it, and I saw nothing. I saw nothing on the dipstick, but I was on a hill, and you know, the engine was still hot, and so obviously it's going to be lower than you expect. But when I saw nothing, I was like, holy shit. Again, confirming my worst fear that there was no oil in it, even though I didn't hear slapping or nothing. So it took about an hour and a half for the mechanic to finally put the oil in it. And what he did, well, first he checked it. I had backed it onto a level surface. I checked it with my iPhone. The iPhone has a leveling thing. So I checked it on my iPhone, and level surface on the Jiffy stand. He pulled the dipstick and he saw that it was a quart low, or at least what he said was a quart low. Maybe he wasn't reading the dipstick right, I don't know. But he said it was a quart low. So he said, I can put some oil in it for you. He told me a weight. I called up the dealership and I said, what weight needs to go in this, because I'm a frickin' rub. And they told me X weight. I still don't know. I knew then, but I said, no, he didn't have that, and I have synth and he doesn't have synth. Is that okay? So they said, if you put non-synth, whatever the weight was, 5W30 or something, then you'll be all right. I can't remember what the number was, so don't freak out when you say 5W30. That's stupid. Anyway, so he put in a quart, checked the dipstick again. It was fine, and then off I went. The oil light was off. The oil pressure said okay. It's all right all the way home. 200 miles home. Next day, take the bike up to the dealership. Light is still not on, which is great. Everything's working fine still. Okay, so I figured I must have burnt or leaked out some oil to cause that deficit, and so there you go, he fixed it, and so now they're going to put all new oil in it and I'll be happy. Well, I also said to them, look, I got this other problem. Ever since I got the stage 4 upgrade, my radiator fans never come on ever. Doesn't matter if I'm in the hottest of traffic, the radiator fans never ever come on. And I said that to them when I first got the stage 4 done. I said to the guy who did it, God rest his soul, and he said, I don't know what the problem is, because he did that manual check where you push a couple of buttons and they came on. So he says, well, they're working. He says, must be that your engine is just not getting hot enough, maybe because of the stage 4 upgrade is running cooler for some reason. Like, I don't know what the frick I'm talking about. So I'm like, okay. So a year goes by, and every time I bring it in for a tire change or oil, whatever, I always tell them, look, it's the fans aren't coming on. Oh, that's normal, that's normal. So this time, in addition to the oil, I said, look, I'm not taking the bike back until you can tell me why the fans aren't coming on, because I've been in the hottest of traffic for hours on end and it never ever ever comes on. So then I get a call back after a day or two, I can't remember what it was, and they said, yeah, your ECM is bad, that's why the fans weren't coming on. So here I was riding this bike for 13 months with no fans, because they refused to tell me the truth or work on it or whatever. So lesson number 1, insist. If you don't think something's right, insist. So then I said, well, what about the oil thing? I said, well, the tech guy says when he checked it, it was a quart overfill. So I'm like, how the hell does a bike go from a quart low to a quart over? So I said, keep checking it. And they went through all these protocols, because the early 2017s had a problem with the oil pump, something or other, sumping. They checked that. There's all kinds of things they had to do to check it, and so they were in communication with the company up in Wisconsin there, and they can't find what's going on. The oil light's not coming on, and every time they read the dipstick at the correct whatevers, it's reading. Well, after they emptied out a bit, it was reading perfectly fine, I guess. I don't know if they emptied everything out and refilled it. I don't know. I think they did. I got it on the receipt. So they could not find any oil leak at all. So I said, all right, well, they said, come pick it up. We've done everything we can. Your oil level is fine, and there's no oil leak, and it's not a sumping issue, and it's not going into the primary like a lot of people have. So before you go jumping on that, it's not going into the primary, and it's not a sumping issue. He said, maybe it's the sensor for the oil sending unit is bad, because if that's bad, then that light will come on and make it seem like you don't have any oil pressure, even though you do. Said, all right, well, I'll keep an eye on that, and off I go, because I told him I don't want this thing coming on again. I'm going to Wisconsin soon. So he said, I understand, but we did everything we were supposed to do and we didn't find anything. It's just that oil was over full, so maybe the sending unit sensor is bad, and it was saying that I didn't have any oil pressure. And then that mechanic guy, who was just some typical country bumpkin roadside mechanic, maybe he didn't read the dipstick right, and he thought it was a quart low, and so he added a quart, and that's where that quart high came from. Maybe the oil was perfectly fine the whole time, and it was just a bad sensor. Still doesn't explain the oil gunge everywhere and the smell of burning oil. So I'm going to definitely clean off. They didn't clean it completely. There's still guns there. I'm going to clean it so good that you could eat food off it, if I can get in there, and keep a good eye on it. And if I see more gunge appearing, I'm going to say, where's this gunge coming from? So the bike seems to be running perfectly fine as far as I can tell. I'm doing a little bit of twisties here. No, not twisties, but you know what I mean. No lights. See, now you might see a blinking light over here. That's not actually blinking. That's just the camera making it look like it's blinking. That it means my auxiliary lights, the 2 lights on the side over there, they're on, and that's why that's there. If I push this, you see how they go off? Now you can only see my headlight from ahead, but I want to have all 3 lights on. So there you go. That's why that's there. Nothing else is blinking as far as I know, unless it's got infrared or some crazy thing. So we're good. Bike is good, although I am down to less than a quarter of a tank. I've got 47 miles remaining, so I'll get that looked at So it's been a frustrating period of time from the end of the Lords of Summer Mountain Madness tour until today. So I guess in a way you could say the Lords of Summer Mountain Madness phase is finally over. Next we get to begin the Lords of Summer Georgia on My Mind tour, which will be coming to you from July, let's say 9th until July 30th. Videos will be coming out around that time for that. Everything seems to be working within normal parameters. I haven't heard those fans come on yet. I hope they come on. I want to hear that shit. I ain't gonna believe they work till I hear them come on. And I know a lot of you are probably horrified that I don't know the weight of the oil that goes in this thing. I do know that it's synthetic, I just don't know the weight. And there's probably a lot of you say, you should bring oil with you on all your trips. Well, I never did before. And I've been all over the damn East Coast on the bike. Never once have I had a problem requiring any oil to go in the bike. And that's from 2006 until now. Well, till last week. And even then, apparently I didn't need to put oil in the bike. But I have oil in the bike now. In the saddlebag, I have a quart of the, the synth, whatever you're supposed to put in. And I know everybody's like, well, you should put AMSOIL in there, or you should put Redline or something in there. But you know what? I'm good with what I have. And it's probably not that good. But whatever. I'm on the warranty until 2023, including tire and wheel. So that's a good thing. It's hot as blazes out here. What's the temperature? 89 degrees Fahrenheit. No, 91. And now my items is disabled. Isn't that interesting? It used to be enabled and now it's disabled. Whatever. I asked the guy at the Harley place, I said, look, did I damage my engine by riding it all that time with no fans? And I don't think I did, because the Ultra, the 107 Ultra, not the Ultra Limited, but the Ultra, does not have radiator fans. It's got the oil cooling, but it doesn't have the liquid cooling on the heads. So there's no radiator, no fans. The lowers, you can actually open that up and put that as storage, as you'll notice on my old Ultra, my 14 Ultra, and the Milwaukee 8 Ultra is the same way. So if that bike doesn't need to have radiator fans, I don't see why this bike necessarily has to have them. It's more of a luxury. So I asked the guys, is my bike damaged? He said, no, it's more for rider and passenger comfort and for emissions. That's why that's on there. I said, all right, okay. Now let's have at me. Go ahead, cacophony of people. You're an idiot. You don't know anything about motorcycles. Well, yeah. Thanks for stating the obvious. You're less of a man. You're not even a man because you don't know how to wrench on a bike. Yeah, whatever. I'm an English teacher with no skills in wrenching, and I've tried, believe me. And I've killed a lot of stuff because I'm not a good wrencher. I just don't have the temperament. I get pissed off. I start smashing stuff, losing stuff. It just pisses me off. So that's why I generally stay the hell away from wrenching. And I know it costs me because I end up spending all this money on other people to do my stuff. But would you rather have it done cheap, or would you rather have it done right? I'd rather have it done right. And somebody would say, well, don't go to the Harley mechanics anymore. That's a dealership. They'll take your money. Well, I'm under warranty until 2023. So I'm going to keep going to the dealership. All this debacle, the ECM, the oil, all that stuff, I just paid nothing. I lost my bike for 7 days, but I just paid nothing. And to the not that I need to defend them, but to defend my dealership, 2 of their techs have died in the last 6 months, and 1 is down with serious motorcycle crash injuries. So they've lost 3 techs, 2 of whom were master mechanics. So they're short-staffed. By the way, all 3 of those people worked on this bike. She's like the black cat of motorcycles. If you work on her, watch out, she's coming for you. The day that Moose went down and saved it was the day that he put a zip tie to secure a loose wire. And I said, watch out. So she gave him a little bit of a nibble. Anyway, so this is my Kaylee 7 going back to work after a very worrisome time. Oh, before I go, I gotta say this. I'd like to do a shout out, a very special shout out to one of the best moto vloggers out there. He's new at this, but he's not new. He's a professional photographer and videographer. The man knows his stuff, and he's a biker for years now, been all over the country. He served in the military. He's proud to have served, even though at the time he said he was a screw-up. And so I'd like to do a shout out to Chris Lonsberry. I will put a link to his channel in my description. Chris rides a Dyna, and he's got it customized beautifully. It sounds like a dream. Gotta love that man's bike. I gotta be careful here. I don't want to get a nail in my tire. There we go. Stay where the cars go and you'll always be alright. Go where the cars don't and you're screwed. You'll have a bad day. Anyway, so Chris Lonsberry is awesome. He lives down in South Carolina, over by Charleston, I think it is. And very intelligent, very well spoken. His videos are supremely awesome in their editing. And he did this 30-day make a video per day challenge, and he's knocked it out of the park. There's not a bad video in there. Just awesome. So if you can, check him out, subscribe to him, because if anybody deserves subscriptions, it's this man. He's really done an amazing job. You should also subscribe to Moose3971. Moose3971. He's one of my partners in crime. And of course, Harley Trek, the best wingman anybody could ever ask for. That's all one word, Harley Trek. Not track, Trek. T-R-E-K. Harley Trek. Awesome. I'll put the links to their pages in my description as well. And I never ask people to like or subscribe to me, but I will ask you to like and or subscribe to them, because they really deserve it. Alright folks, take care. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all your concern. I really appreciate it more than I can say, and I'll talk to you later.